And when you're coming to a country and you're starting from zero, you feel as if it's go, go, go. You need to achieve everything immediately, all at once. Going to classes wasn't even as important. I've probably been staring at the camera for about a minute or two, just wondering how on earth I'm going to start this video. So I was working like crazy, and on top of it, I was doing a lot of courses. I was working full-time and I had 2 courses that I was doing, and then I still saw no, this wasn't working. And that's when I realized that there was something wrong. And I started to Google it. I started to Google the symptoms that I was having, and basically I was demotivated to do work. And that's when I Googled it, I got to see that it was burnout. And that's how I get to understand that, oh, there is such thing and this can actually happen to you. So that's when I got to realize that I was at burnout at that stage, and basically I was online researching, okay, so this is what is wrong. So how do I change it? So I started to Google some more, and I started to research, okay, so how can you reduce burnout? How do you get rid of this thing? How do you treat burnout? And I was Googling those things and I was seeing it. And basically it was like, reduce your task, reduce your overall task. And that was the main thing that kept coming over and over. And I was seeing like self-care, I was seeing like rest, and I was seeing sleep for 8 hours. So I was like, oh, okay, so this seems easy enough to do. So that's when I started to go on the job of reducing, eliminating, increasing the most important things that helps you to continue. The thing about coming to Canada for people like me who is starting from zero is that you're starting from zero. And when you're coming to a country and you're starting from zero, that really causes an issue. When you're starting from zero, it means that you have to build up from where you are. You can't rely on anyone. You're on your own. And there are a lot of you that actually message me and say, this is exactly what I want to come to Canada and do. I want to be able to pay my own tuition. I want to be able to come to Canada and maybe one day be able to immigrate to Canada. Many of you have said that to me. And the thing about it is that when you first come here, and you're starting from zero, you feel as if it's go, go, go. You need to achieve everything immediately, all at once. And when I think about it, I ask myself, why did I need to finish school at a particular time? Why did I have to finish school in this specific year? Why couldn't I finish school at a later date? What reason did I have? And it's just things like that you think about, and then you realize that even though you're rushing, you actually have no place that you're going, because at the end of the day, life just continues and it doesn't stop. And even if you rush now, the question is, are you going to rush through your entire life, or are you going to continue to survive and cope for the rest of your life? Or you're going to rush through the beginning of life and then afterwards you can't manage again, and then what happens at that point? And when I saw what was happening and I got to see, oh, burnout, there's such thing, I was like, okay, I have to change this. So one of the first thing I did is to reduce all the tasks that I had, and I was only working a full-time job. The summer of 2022, I was just working one job for 40 hours. So the previous summer, I actually worked for 72 hours per week for most of the weeks, and some of the times I was working 60 hours per week. So that just shows you how much I was working. And then on top of it, I was also doing 1 or 2 courses so that I can also graduate. Now, there are some advantages to graduating a certain period of time, but there's a point where you don't have to. It really depends, because for me, like, if you were to stretch out your course for too long, then it could be that you continuously have the international student fee to pay. But once you pass a certain threshold, you can actually lengthen out your school and it won't affect you in any way. So that's what happened to me, and that's when I made a shift in my life in general. And I started to make plans from 2022. I started to make plans. And during that summer, I was working for 40 hours per week, and that same company asked me to continue working part-time during the summer. And I said yes at the beginning. And then afterwards, I got to realize that I wasn't living up to what I said I would do to change the impacts of what happened previously. It is still important to ensure that you're achieving the right goals, not the goal that you think will make you successful, but the right goals. So the things that I said that I would begin to focus on is, 1, to go to the gym. That was number 1. For me, gaining weight for me is very easy. You could snap your finger and I would gain weight. Like, it's very easy to happen. And I decided that I have to make it a priority to go to the gym. That's a priority. And even if that means that I have to reduce the amount of work I'm doing, then that's what I'm gonna do. One of the time management tools or time management tips that someone provided is, the goals that you achieve in life is 20% of the effort, and 80% of what you did actually wasn't important. And that's something that was so important. It's called the 80-20 rule. So what it says is that 80% of what you do is not important, and 20% is what leads you to your success. And when I think about that, and I think about school, I realize that the reason why I'm able to get good grades is because I study for the exams. That's the reason for getting good grades. That's 20% of my effort. Outside of that, I'm always busy. I'm doing this assignment, I'm doing that assignment, I'm getting this done, I'm doing all these things. None of it is as important. Yes, it is important, but the major results, I only got that from 20% of the effort that I put in. Going to classes wasn't even as important. I didn't have to go to classes to achieve my goals. I didn't have to do that. I could have actually skipped every single class, which is what majority of students do, is to literally skip class. I'm not recommending that anyone skip classes, but what I'm saying is, to be quite frank, you could have skipped classes and read the notes on your own and studied, and you will gain the same success as the person who go to every class. 20% of what you do actually give you the result. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching. Definitely subscribe to the channel